Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, in this tutorial I wanted to show you a stitch. You can work this stitch in rounds for infinity scarf if you like. I did a very, let's say, short, not too big infinity scarf with this stitch, and this infinity scarf will just sit tight on my neck. It's not like for a fashion statement hanging on your neck, on your chest. So this is the stitch. It's a very easy stitch, one row repeat. You can do so many things with this this stitch. This is the front of the stitch, and this is the back. So you're gonna choose which one you like. I like more this one, but the other side it's okay also. So you can do this stitch. This stitch has only one row repeat, but you will have only this look if you work in rounds. If you are, I'm gonna show you how to do flat this stitch, so you choose which one you're gonna do, in rounds or just flat. And the infinity scarf that I did, I worked with 4.0 millimeter crochet hook. Now I'm gonna use, for this sample to show you the stitch, I'm gonna use 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, with this stitch we're gonna chain odd numbers. I have here 13 chains. We're gonna skip the first chain, and into the second chain we're gonna do a single crochet, and this row is gonna be single crochet in each chain. So you're gonna move to the next chain, single crochet, and so on. In each chain, single crochet. I think this stitch looks nice if you are to work with a chunky yarn or a little bit thicker than normal. This is quite thick, the yarn, and I think this yarn, the yellow orangey, I think it's asking me to use 5.0 millimeter crochet hook, but I'm using 4.5 if I want it a little bit bumpy or a little bit tight. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna chain 2, turn your work, and we're gonna skip the first stitch, and into the second stitch we're gonna go in there and do 2 double crochet together. So you're not gonna finish the double crochets. You go back again into the same stitch and do the second double crochet, 3 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through all the loops, and now we're gonna go back to the first stitch that we skipped, yarn over the hook and go into that first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook and go back again and pull another loop. Yeah, so you're gonna have like 5 loops. Then pull the yarn through all 5 loops. Again, we're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the next stitch we're gonna do the same. We're gonna do 2 double crochet together, so 3 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through all 3 loops, and now we're gonna go back to the stitch that we skipped. So yarn over the hook, you go back into that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, go back again and pull another loop, 5 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through all 5 loops, skip the next stitch, and into the next we're going to repeat 2 double crochet together into that stitch. So you go back into that stitch and do the second, and now you're going to have 3 loops, pull the yarn through all 3 loops, and now we're going to go back to the stitch that we skipped, and we're going to do like a puff in a way. If you want bigger you can go 3 times, you know, it doesn't matter, it's up to you. So it's gonna look like this. So again, we're gonna skip the next 2 stitches, and we're gonna skip the one stitch, and then into the next 2 double crochet together, pull the yarn through all 3 loops, and then we're gonna do a puff into the stitch that we skipped. So once and twice, pull the yarn through all the loops. So we're gonna do like this until we finish this row. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the next stitch we're gonna do in there 2 double crochet together. Well, the first row it's a little bit, well, not much material to grab on, but after this row you're gonna be okay. So now we're gonna go back to the stitch that we skipped, and we're gonna do in there like a puff. Like I said, depends on your yarn size, you can go 3 times, 4 times, depends. It's gonna look like this. So now at the end we are left with 2 chains. We're gonna skip the 2 stitches. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the next, which is the last one, we're gonna repeat. We're gonna do in the last stitch 2 double crochet together, and then we're gonna go back to the stitch that we skipped, and we're gonna do a puff. So once, and the second time, pull the yarn through all the loops. Then again it's gonna look like this. You're gonna chain 2, turn your work, and this is the other side. Yeah. So now we're gonna repeat. The first stitch is here, this one. We're gonna skip that one, and we're gonna go to the second stitch. Yeah, we're gonna skip one, and we're gonna work into the second, which we're gonna do 2 double crochet together. Pull the yarn through all those 3 loops, and now we're gonna go back to the first stitch that we skipped, and we're gonna do a puff. Pull the yarn through all the loops, and we're gonna repeat. Skip the next stitch, and into the next 2 double crochet together, and then we're gonna go back to the stitch that we skipped, and we do a puff. I think this is nice for a blanket, for many things. So skip the next and into the next, which is a lot of space in here, so you cannot miss that, to put those 2 double crochet together. And then we're gonna go back to the stitch that we skipped. It's gonna look like this. So when you work this flat the way I showed you just now, you're gonna have different look. But if you are to work this in rounds, you're gonna have only one look, and you're gonna be the one choosing which side you like better. Okay, and now we're gonna go back to the stitch that we skipped, and we're gonna do a puff. So at the end we have 2 stitches, 1 and 2. I don't know if you can see, 1 and 2. So we're gonna skip the next stitch, and into the last one, 2 double crochet together, and we're gonna go back to the stitch that we skipped and do a puff. So it's gonna look like this. And this, for a baby blanket, I think it's nice. It's quite thick, and it has some openings for the baby to breathe. So you're gonna chain 2, and you're gonna turn your work, and you're gonna repeat. So it's a little bit bumpy working with 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. If I was to use exactly 5.0, will be a little bit looser, yeah, not so bumpy. So you're gonna repeat. The first stitch is here. This one you're gonna skip. You're gonna go into the next one, 2 double crochet together, and then you go back to the stitch, the first one, and you're gonna do a puff. Skip the next, and into the next you're gonna do 2 double crochet together, and so on. It's a very easy stitch, goes really fast, but I will have to say this one is gonna eat some yarn. So if you want to get rid of yarn, well, then use for presents, for yourself, whatever you want to do. So you see, it's a different. You're gonna have this row for which is on this scarf. Yeah. If you want the other side, well, then you're gonna use the other side. So this is the stitch. So you're gonna finish, for example, let me show you. Let's say you want to close the work, for those of you that you don't know. So we started in the beginning with a row of single crochet. What you're gonna do after you finish doing the puff at the end, let me put this a little bit, and then to finish the row with a single crochet in each stitch, you're gonna chain one, turn your work, and the first stitch is here. Yeah. You're gonna do a single crochet, you're gonna move to the next stitch, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, and so on, single crochet in each stitch. If you are to do this in rounds for an infinity scarf or whatever you like to do, make sure that you are chaining odd numbers. Yeah, for example, I think for the infinity scarf that I just showed you, I think I chained 129 or yeah, 129. So it was an odd number. Yeah. So you have the stitch at the end here, you're gonna do single crochet, and that's it, you're done. I'm gonna chain one, cut the yarn, and then hide the tail. Yeah, well, this is, and here the base, when I started with this scarf, I did the single foundation single crochet, yeah, at the bottom here. Instead of just chains and then do a single crochet in each chain, I just started with the foundation of single crochet. Okay, well, I hope you like this stitch. Give it a try. You might enjoy this one. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.